Okay, we are back, everybody. Game is currently just loading up here. It will be the ace match here between the both players, and introducing them, spawning in the bottom left hand side as the purple Zerg player, playing for Team Poison Hearts. Unfortunately losing the last game. Can he tie, or can he close out the series here with that game? It is Winter.
Yeah, his opponent who did get that game in the last round with a very well executed two-base all-in. It is playing for Team Gosu, the Protoss player, Sohel. Well, of course, on Whirlwind, one of the biggest, if not the biggest map, and probably one of the longest running maps now that some of the others have been filtered out. I remember Whirlwind from a very long time ago, I think, in the relatively short lifespan that is StarCraft 2. I'm not a huge fan of it. Largely because I think it's one that I've just seen a lot of games on, and I kind of feel like a lot of the pros have it very well figured out as well. But it still manages to make some very, very interesting and entertaining macro games nonetheless.
Yeah, I think actually with Ballistic Vestige, it is the oldest map currently in the WCS or ladder pool, which basically is the same thing. So it basically was around, I think, actually since the beta of Heart of the Swarm, at least since release.
Yeah,
I think definitely the beta though.
I mean, I remember playing Whirlwind in Wings of Liberty. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm pretty sure it was around even before the HOTS ladder maps got meshed together. Yeah,
Wow.
I could be mistaken on that one. My memory is I am an old man after all. But my
Yeah, actually, I think there was Whirlwind, but I think it was a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they've definitely changed it.
And
made some
also, it was not
modifications.
really in the ladder pool or something like that.
Yeah. This is just probably me remembering my GSL. Old school GSL. Anyway, just to talk about this game momentarily, not a great deal going on. Sohel's planted a gateway down. Looks to be doing something similar to what he was up to last game. About to get that Nexus started as well. And Winter playing it very safe with a solidly timed spawning pool, and we'll be looking to follow that up with a hatchery. There it goes.
Yeah, interesting decision though, just because you know that Whirlwind is just humongous, so a lot of Zerg players just tend to go for the hatch first. Just because cannon rushes due to the long rush distances tend to be not as effective. But Winter just opening up very, very safely here. He's not going to risk anything here. So we might maybe see a more of a defensive playstyle here by Winter.
I would expect to see something along those lines. I mean, especially with him not getting a gas immediately either. I mean, getting that spawning pool down nice and early to get a pair of lings out to chase this probe away. Speaking of which, the probe has latched onto the drone here, knows that a third base is imminent. Although Winter doesn't actually have the minerals for the moment, it's going to take him a while before he can get there. He's actually going to try and fight this probe off by himself, and he's got two lings coming up as well that they will chase the probe off. No proxy pylon gets planted down, and I think the third base for Winter is going to go down very shortly.
Absolutely, by now he also has, or he had the minerals, and he will have them once again here in just a couple of seconds. And I think there we go, hatchery is now going to go down. On the other side, we see the next also just finishing up here. Wall in is now slowly but steadily being closed. And I think we are pretty well set up here for a longer macro game.
Yep, I would say if you've got any phone calls to make, go and make them now, because chances are 10 minutes time you'll still be in this game. Not that that's a bad thing. We love macro games here at Poison TV. They do tend to be more dynamic. A couple of zealots got made by Sohel. I like this. I wonder if and he's making a third as well. I wonder if he'll kind of send them over and do that kind of 4 zealot push that he did in the last game, which was actually surprisingly good. He got a decent trade off of that.
Yeah, I mean, he first of all forced a lot of lings, and he actually was able to kill off a lot of them, which pretty much forced a lot of drones to be lings and not drones. That definitely already cut Winter's income just a little bit. And maybe that was one of the factors why Winter's lost their first game. So I wouldn't really be surprised to see him doing that just once again, and indeed he's going to get 4 zealots here. Will once again chrono boost out that +1 attack. Of course, this time being on Whirlwind, the rush distances are a little bit longer, so the push might not be as effective as it used to be on Whirlwind, on Yonsu, but still it can do some nice damage.
Yeah, a couple of drones, a couple of lings did try and chase a drone. They managed to chase it all the way across the map. Good scouting though from Winter to be able to find it. It's very, very difficult to find a probe that's hiding on Whirlwind. There's plenty of hiding spaces, but he obviously knows what he's doing. And Sohel, yeah, moving out with those zealots now. The fourth one is somewhat behind, and he is bringing a probe with him too. Possibly looking to plant down a pylon somewhere near the third base of his opponent. Yeah, +1 ground weapons is on its way. It's getting chrono boosted like furiously. So I think he wants to try and engage when he does have that, because it's really important for Zealots. Obviously, getting that +1 ground attack means that you kill Zerglings in 2 swipes as opposed to 3, which is huge in these small engagements. You get such a better trade. And there goes the pylon. But this could get spotted very, very quickly from Winter. And yeah, I think he's going to spot this almost immediately. There he does see it, but the Zealots are there already, and they're going to be able to bat this away very quickly. +1 ground weapons still not quite finished when they did get this engagement, which is unfortunate, but still, there are enough Zealots here to be able to clean their way up. These Zerglings are going down very quickly, and in fact, +1 ground weapons is just about to finish. There we go, it's finished now. So these are already doing great amounts of damage, and actually there's another follow-up walking of more Zealots, and these main Zealots, only one of the first 4 have actually gone down. Plenty of Zealots are still here at the third, and they're going to be able to get started and work their way onto the hatchery itself.
Absolutely, those Zealots will definitely get that hatchery, I'm pretty sure with that. And behind all of that, we saw the robotics going down, so this is pretty much reminding me of what we saw in the first game. More Zealots are being warped in. The hatchery is getting terribly low on HP, 50, 10, and there we go. Third base goes down for Winter here. And so we are pretty much once again in the same situation as we were in game number 1. With pretty much the only difference that Winter took a lot more damage from those initial Zealots, and that he went for Roaches this time instead of Hydralisks.
Yeah, he certainly took a lot more damage, although Sohel, it's fair to say, actually committed quite a bit more to it as well. I mean, several warpins came in there as well, but yeah, great engagements with Sohel, timed it out very nicely as well with that +1 ground weapons. Winter retaking his hatchery, and he's actually gone and gotten Roaches this time, which he didn't do in the last game. Decided to skip them entirely and go for Hydralisks. But Sohel, yeah, just sticking to what he knows best, getting those Immortals on the way, and getting his +1 armor as well. Flood of gateways coming in, 4 more, and this is going to put him up to a relatively large number. He's got 4 warp gates active at the moment, and 4 more coming in, so my maths, they do not fail me.
It's
Guess
8.
we're going to have 8 again.
Yeah, it's pretty much, as I said previously, the same style as you saw in game number 1. With once again the only difference that Winter went for Roaches this time, so let's see if that makes a difference. And also, ultimately, he's going to go for Mutalisks, which definitely have to be proven very, very effective in this matchup. But they will still take quite some time, and we already see Sohel moving out now.
He is indeed, and actually Winter is none the wiser, really. These Roaches really don't need to be here around the third base of Sohel. They need to be back home ready to defend, because there's still a sizable force of Zealots moving their way up back into the third again. I think Winter's got to be really heaving a sigh of frustration here, as there are so many Zealots here going to be able to get to work straight away on these drones, and they're going to go down very quickly. Meanwhile, the main army for Sohel did clean up a nice pack of Roaches up towards outside his natural ramp.
I think that really actually was all the Roaches.
That was all the Roaches.
That was all the Roaches.
Yeah, so I mean, this is looking really, really dire now at the moment for Winter. He's going back into nothing, but his Spire is finishing up though, so he is going to be able to get Mutalisk out relatively quickly, looking to counter maybe with some Zerglings running past there, but there are so many sentries, and this is actually enough sentries such that, as we mentioned earlier, they can take on Mutalisks in the right numbers.
A sentry wins against the Mutalisks in a 1-on-1, and here we go, the probes are all getting force fielded into the third base. That is terrible for Winter here. He immediately drops down to 48 workers, the third base of course going down here, but we have 12 Mutalisks in production here, and if they actually finish, I think Winter should be in the least position to actually hold that. We see so far 13 sentries, and I think with ground support of a couple of links, I think, don't quote me on it, Winter could be able to hold it, but we see more and more units being warped in here. It's definitely going to be a close one. Here we go.
Here come the Mutalisks. They do focus down the Mothership Core first of all, and then now they're going to be looking to work onto the sentries as well. Focus fire coming down on those sentries. Is it going to be enough though? Stalker's getting warped in as well. That's what Sohel needs in addition to support these sentries. But actually, yeah, as you say, the sentries just, they're able to force back the Mutalisks. So many Mutalisks have gone down here, and there's not enough Mutalisks. There are not enough Mutalisks indeed. So many Spine Crawlers got made, but these are getting cut down to ribbons very, very quickly here. Unfortunately, the Immortals and Zealots doing such great timings on them, and Winter, GG's. Congratulations.